Channel number 8 is entrepreneur John Santos.
Oh man,
So not only is John a member of the video
we
influencers
just
community
got
here, he's
featured
actually
on
somebody that I
video
got to meet in person
influencers.
and develop a friendship
Oh, this
with
is
that
awesome
lives
how they're
here
putting
in
this
Las
together.
Vegas.
Guys, so a few days ago, I was actually notified that Sean Cannell, he's the owner of Video Influencers, which is essentially a pretty large YouTube channel. It has a couple million subscribers throughout their entire channels. I was notified that we were featured in a video. Now, my initial surprise, you guys are actually gonna watch my initial surprise in this video because I saw the notification and I knew I needed to record it. And I knew I needed to record it because I felt that the story can really translate to people that are watching this channel that are either starting up their own brand or creating their own products. There's a lot of takeaways that I'm gonna share while I'm watching this, as well as some key things that I'm gonna share at the end of this. But I think it's really important to just begin with the story of how Sean and I even connected or how this even came to be. Now, the story really began 5 years ago when I was at an event in Las Vegas. We happened to break for lunch, and as you know, some of the events have all these public food courts, and we just happened to sit on the same table. As we were sitting on the same table, people were talking about YouTube, and he asked me, hey, does anybody have a YouTube channel? At the time, I had that one video, which is how to start a clothing line with $50. He saw it, and he was like, yo, dude, this is really good content. You need to make more. I was super hesitant to making more content at the time because honestly, I didn't know how people would receive it. I didn't know how people would take it. And he continued to push me. He said, make more content next year. Your channel's gonna do great. And I did so. And a few years later, we're at 50,000 subscribers. And now we're approaching 150,000 subscribers. And we officially got this nice YouTube plaque for the 100,000, which is amazing. But in this video, I wanna react to it. Like I mentioned, my hopes is in really helping you guys better understand how you can leverage social media to grow your brand and business, regardless of what it is that you're doing right now. So without any further ado, let's start and see what he says. And then I wanna expand on a couple of those points as we go along. So let's do it.
Meet in person and develop a friendship with that lives here in Las Vegas. John started his first apparel company right out of high school, and his YouTube channel is a great example of what every small business owner and entrepreneur should be doing on YouTube. Creating valuable videos, sharing your journey, and building your brand while you're building your business. In addition to starting multiple businesses and learning a lot of lessons, John is now giving back with lots of creative videos, including how to get started with Alibaba and ordering wholesale, Shopify tutorials for beginners, logo design, sending and receiving monies, how to start your first t-shirt company or design your first piece of apparel, and lots of different things that he has learned on his journey as an entrepreneur.
Right out of the gate, he talks about all the different types of content I have. And as you're scrolling through my YouTube feed, chances are you've landed on a couple different videos where you looked up, hey, I want to learn how to do this for my business. Now, the approach that I started with YouTube was essentially, what questions did I have? So as I started my business out of high school, like he mentioned, I had a lot of questions about how things were done. Like, how should I do certain things? Where should I host a website? How do I sell products? There was all these questions, and if I Googled it, I'd essentially get like a blog post with like a bunch of different options, and it was a very long read, it was boring. So I figured, why not create a YouTube channel around all the common questions that I had starting up in hopes of helping somebody just hit that play button and just start watching the video, and by the end of the video, knowing where they should go and who they should use. So that was a really good point that he made there, is I started with my own problems and I just created content around it.
While his consistency in uploading has been seasonal, and as an entrepreneur, you can relate, you got a business to run, his library of videos still generate over 400,000 views every month. And his top viewed video on how to start a clothing line with less than $50 has over 1.5 million views.
It's not easy to do YouTube, guys. It's actually very difficult to set up a camera, set up a video lights, and push record. It's actually not that hard. The hardest part is in just sitting down and recording that first video. But the difficulty with longevity is a lot of videos won't get the views that you expect. Right? A lot of times as YouTubers publish a video, they hope that it gets 100,000 views so they could share it with somebody. But I always just realize, hey, why not just put the information out there and see what happens with it? And that's really how my channel got started. I wasn't just hoping on views and wishing that I got this maximum amount of success and subscribers, I was just like, how do I help you guys? How do I help the people watching? And it doesn't matter how many views it gets. As long as it gets a couple hundred, I would be happy. And the beauty about some of the things that Sean Cannell taught me over the years is that you could position your videos to grow over years, like compound over months and years. So a lot of these videos that started with 100 views today have somewhere around 300,000. So that's the beauty about YouTube.
From John is number one, if you're a business owner, I think this is a great model to follow in terms of building your brand by creating content around how you did what you did when it comes to building your business. I think secondly, this is also just a great way of giving back and preparing for the future. By answering other people's questions and helping upstart entrepreneurs or other people in your industry, you're just building your community and you're building a lot of goodwill and building trust with those that you may end up being able to serve in the future. And as far as preparing for the future, by building a subscriber base, by building a following, John is giving himself diversity in uncertain times. Because if there's one thing this pandemic has showed us, it's that it's never been more important to at least diversify your business with some sort of online aspect, as well as having an online offer and online influence. So every smart small business owner and entrepreneur should be thinking about building their influence online so that you're prepared for whatever comes in the future.
And that right there, leaving off that end note that he just noted, that was a really good point, is that when I started YouTube, I wasn't really thinking about longevity. I wasn't thinking about becoming a YouTuber. It wasn't like it was on the top of my mind or on a bucket list as a kid, like I want to be a YouTuber, because we didn't grow up with YouTube that way. So I just did it for the sake of helping people, right? And as we continued to publish more videos, more and more people started subscribing to the channel. And then it became a mission and a cause. Like, how do we assist everyone that's subscribing, everyone that's watching? How can we better assist them in pursuing their goals? And that's really where we started. That was the foundation of our channel, is building brands from the ground up. And now that this pandemic happens and there's a big shift to online, now is like where you really start to see communities building online. And a lot of the things that we were doing 5 years ago are really starting to be highlighted. So I share that to say that now is the best time to start, because in 5 to 10 years, you don't know how the landscape is going to be. But by simply hitting record and getting your practice in right now and starting to build a small user base, you'll be able to take your business and your life in a direction that you probably never even would have considered it be in. So if you're watching this right now and maybe you're on the fence about starting your channel, I want to leave you guys off with some actionable advice and steps that I oftentimes share with a lot of the entrepreneurs in our community that are thinking about starting a channel. I want to share them with you guys that you can immediately apply and start taking action and creating an amazing online community for yourself and for your brand. Now, the very first pushback I always get from people is, I don't have the personality to be a YouTuber. I just don't know if I can do it, all right? Well, coming from me, right? You guys clearly see who I am. You see how I interact with you guys. I'm not a PewDiePie, and I'm not some girl who travels in a van with a snake, right? Like, I don't have that kind of personality to entertain you guys simply by talking to you like this. You guys watch me for the content that I share and maybe some of the jokes I put into it, right? But regardless of that, what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to have that kind of personality. All you need to do is take some of these advice that we're about to share, and you guys will see how they also shared it on their channel and they were able to grow their following to multi-million subscribers. The first point is in narrowing down your strengths and the things that you have at your disposal. What this means is simply don't go out of your way to become a YouTuber. You know, technically I could go out and become a girl, buy a snake, and buy a van and travel the country and film it for your guys' entertainment. I think this is how it's done. A little bit of dab, dab, dab motion here.
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. But to be honest, I think it'd be a little difficult with the dab, dab, dab motions I might have to do every single day to entertain you guys that way. So I'm not gonna go out of my way to be somebody I am not. And in the same way, you have to narrow down your strengths and what you have available, the background that you have, your upbringing, some of the products, some of the ways that you create things are very unique to you. So create that list, because the next point is essentially finding opportunities in the market to actually highlight that. Which brings us to the last point, and that is in finding opportunities within your skill set. Now, when I first launched my very first video, it was how to start a clothing line with less than $50. Now, the reason I decided to share that video is because my work experience had me starting businesses for less than $50 in the state of Nevada. So I knew it was possible that we could do it, and I couldn't find any of that information online. I would find a lot of articles, a lot of misinformed videos that were just complicated and not really to the point. So I decided, why not bring that experience and that skill set to establish one YouTube video that would help people how to start a clothing line for less than $50. Now, I got a lot of backlash for it because people said this is false, this is not right, you need thousands of dollars. And of course, you still need more money to actually invest into your brand. But for $50, you can set up everything that you need legally to operate and establish your presence online. And that was the point of that video. So as you guys are going through your skill sets and your strengths, find things in your life or things that you know are true that could apply to many other people's lives and create a video around that. It could be about how to design a certain thing. It could be about a simple task that you do every single day that would help you stand out online because a lot of people aren't sharing that. Now, that is one of the biggest ways to break into YouTube is by sharing and bringing value to your audience. And at the same time, if you're operating a brand, you want to bring value to your customers. You want to be able to remarket this and reshare this through newsletters, emails, marketing, all that good stuff, right? So use YouTube and social media as a way to create content to bring value to people's lives, and people that resonate with it will hit that follow button, they'll hit that subscribe button, and they'll be asking for more content. And over the years, it continues to pile up. We grew slowly. We started at 0 subscribers, and we grew to 200, 1,000, 5,000, 50,000. I realized that I could help more people if we expanded the channel's topics, if we expanded the things that we shared. And that's when we started a whole new series called From the Ground Up. And we were able to essentially go behind the scenes into a lot of factories, into a lot of ways that products get created, with the goal being to educate you guys into how your products are made so you can design and create and just really innovate the entire industry. So if you guys enjoyed this video, huge shout outs to video influencers for featuring us in that video. If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I highly encourage that you guys go check out their full length video, which is going to be linked in the descriptions down below, and we'll tag it up above as well. Now, if you guys enjoyed this type of content on my channel, hit that like button, share it, leave a comment if you think I should make more like this, or just leave a question about something that's going on with your brand or with your life and how we can better assist you. Now, if you guys are starting a clothing line and you need more assistance, download the free trainings and PDFs that we have linked throughout the entire channel and on our official website, linked right down below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel's e-commerce store where we wholesale quality blank apparel, starting with some quality face masks, check them out down below as well. So I appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I truly hope that this helps you kind of take some of the time that you have and get unstuck and take action on something and start building that online following. Because the biggest obstacle is not if people are gonna watch it. That's not the biggest obstacle. In your head, it might be that, but the biggest obstacle that you really have is, are you ready to just put yourself online and get criticized? Because the biggest critic is gonna be you, all right? And it doesn't matter all the trolls in the description that are just trolling. Those guys and those people down there have very bad lives. So don't worry about what they have to say. Just know about what you're saying about yourself, because I know that it's possible as long as you put your mind to it, all right? See you guys on the next one.